We are outside the map, and today we take you through hidden mountains, hills, and coastlines, places where time forgot the villages. These are places where traditions quietly endure, and every stone tells a story that never made it into history books. Some cling to the peaks of the Alps, others overlook the sea from remote cliffs. There are villages carved into rock, hanging towns, and tiny islands that still preserve ancient rituals. They don't appear in tourist brochures, they don't welcome crowds, but each one holds an authentic piece of Italian identity. On this journey, we'll explore 20 villages few know, but all deserve to be discovered. From north to south, among forgotten cultures, untouched landscapes, and voices that resist the passage of time. Welcome to Secret Italy. Vogogna. Hidden in the Ossola Valley, Vogogna feels like a medieval whisper among the Alps. Founded in Roman times and fortified in the 14th century, its castle still silently watches over the valley. But what makes it truly unique is its setting. It lies within the Val Grande National Park, Italy's largest wilderness area, with no roads or villages. Here, nature has not surrendered. The cobblestone streets lead to an untouched past, and locals say that on moonless nights, you can hear the echoes of ancient shepherds crossing the mountains guided only by the stars. Orta San Giulio. On the shores of Lake Orta, Orta San Giulio is a corner frozen in time. Founded in the Middle Ages, this small village with cobblestone streets faces a mysterious island. The island of San Giulio, home to a community of cloistered nuns living in an ancient Benedictine monastery. The namesake saint is said to have expelled a giant serpent, symbol of evil, from the islet and built his last church there. Far from the bustle of Lake Como, silence reigns here, not just as the absence of noise, but as a living presence that envelops everything and transforms it. Apricol. Apricol, a village seemingly fused with the rock it rests upon, stands as a living testament to the Middle Ages in Liguria. Located just a few kilometers from the French border, it was originally a strategic defensive outpost. Its narrow cobblestone streets and stone houses preserve the authenticity of centuries past. Every summer, the castle square transforms into an open-air theater, offering a window into the local history and culture. This theatrical tradition, involving the entire community, is a vivid reflection of Apricol's identity and resilience. Canale di Tenno. Between the peaks of Trentino and Lake Garda, Canale di Tenno emerges as a village suspended in time. Its stone houses stack together without disturbing centuries of history, capturing sunlight between narrow alleys. Founded in the Middle Ages as a refuge for its inhabitants, today its walls hold the secrets of a simple, enduring life. Every summer, when the village lights up with hundreds of lights during Il Borgo di Luce, past and present meet in a spectacle that transforms stone into visual poetry. Clusone. Clusone, nestled in the Bergamasque Prealps, is a medieval treasure blending art, science, and mystery. It is renowned for the frescoes of the Dance of Death that adorn the Church of San Defendente, a powerful visual representation of life's fleeting nature and the inevitability of death. Additionally, Clusone houses a 16th century astronomical clock, an engineering masterpiece that still precisely marks the passage of time and lunar phases. This unique combination of macabre art and Renaissance science makes Clusone a fascinating and little-known destination where history and symbolism intertwine. Sovana. Sovana, in the heart of Tuscany, is an Etruscan gem built upon tuff, a volcanic rock that allowed the carving of unique tombs and funerary monuments. Its streets and squares preserve an ancient essence where Etruscan and medieval history coexist in perfect harmony. Among its treasures is the Etruscan necropolis, revealing the rituals and beliefs of a fascinating people. It is said that on full moon nights, shadows of ancient Etruscan processions seem to wander its streets, recalling Sovana's millennial past still alive in its silent stone. Montefiorale. Montefiorale, a small walled village in the Chianti wine region, rises like a stone ring amid hills covered with vineyards. Founded in the Middle Ages, it was a strategic bastion for the defense of Florence, and today preserves its walls and cobbled streets intact. Beyond its architecture, Montefiorale is a refuge for those seeking calm and connection to the land. Locals say that in its taverns, over glasses of Chianti, stories are still told of ancient grape harvesters who celebrated the harvest with songs that echo in the wind. Civita di Bagnoregio. Civita di Bagnoregio rests atop a fragile tuff spur, surrounded by a ravine that erodes it day by day. Founded by the Etruscans over 2,000 years ago, its connection to the outside world is reduced to a long pedestrian bridge. It is called the Dying Town, but its beauty remains intact: stone alleys, ancient arches, and breathtaking views. Its few permanent residents live in a delicate balance between past and present. On foggy days, Civita does not disappear. It rises, suspended between the land that holds it and the abyss that threatens it. Sperlonga. Sperlonga rests between white cliffs and the crystal-clear waters of the Tyrrhenian Sea, on the southern coast of Lazio. Of ancient origin, it was chosen by Emperor Tiberius as a retreat, where he had a seaside villa built, now semi-buried and little visited. In its natural grotto, monumental sculptures inspired by the Odyssey were discovered, masterpieces now housed in the local archaeological museum. Far from the hustle of other Italian coasts, Sperlonga maintains a low profile: whitewashed houses, labyrinthine stairways, and a light that bounces off the walls as if the Mediterranean were whispering here. Doza. Doza, just a few kilometers from Bologna, is a medieval village with a unique feature. Its walls are canvases. Since the 1960s, artists from around the world have been invited to paint directly on the facades of the historic center, transforming the village into an open-air art gallery. Every 2 years, new works are added without erasing the old, creating a continuous dialogue between art and architecture. Founded in Roman times and dominated by an imposing fortress, Doza blends history and avant-garde with ease. Here, every street is a surprise and every wall a visual story. Castelmezzano. Castelmezzano hides among the Lucanian Dolomites, nestled in a landscape of rocky spires that seem sculpted by giants. Founded in the early Middle Ages as a refuge from invasions, the village blends with the stone as if it were born from the mountain itself. Its houses and stairways adapt to the rugged terrain, creating an almost surreal geography. Today it's known for the Flight of the Angel, a zipline that connects two villages across a vast void. But its true power lies in the mineral silence that surrounds it. A silence not unsettling, but one that reveals something essential and profound. Sant'Agata dei Goti. Sant'Agata dei Goti seems to emerge directly from the cliff that supports it. Located in inland Campania, this village combines medieval architecture, Norman influences, and cobbled streets that lead to dizzying views. Built upon an ancient Samnite city, its history intertwines with that of Romans, Lombards, and bishops, whose legacies remain in churches, palaces, and cloisters. On its hills, Falanghina is produced, a white wine that has accompanied local life for centuries. Seen from below, the village's facade resembles a monolithic sculpture, suspended between rock and sky, untouched by the passage of time. Camerota. Camerota rises among the mountains of the Cilento National Park, just a few kilometers from the sea, in a place where nature still sets the rhythm of life. Its origins date back to Greek colonies, whose influence lingers in local names and traditions. Unlike its coastal neighbor Marina di Camerota, the old village remains peaceful, surrounded by centuries-old olive groves and shepherds' paths. From its viewpoints, one can see the turquoise sea, but here the coast is only a distant whisper. Camerota preserves a deep rural identity, where hospitality, landscape, and memory form a sincere and powerful blend. Scano. Scano, nestled in the Abruzzo region, is a mountain village surrounded by dense forests and glacial lakes. Its layout, seen from above, forms the shape of a heart, and this unique feature has made it a symbol of love and devotion. But what truly sets it apart is the strength of its traditions. Even today, some older women wear the traditional costume, with dark skirts, embroidered bodices, and lace headpieces. Photographers like Henri Cartier-Bresson were drawn to its untouched aesthetic. Scano is not visited just for its beauty, but for the feeling of authenticity it conveys. Pacentro, located in the heart of the Majella National Park, is one of the best preserved villages in the Apennines. Its medieval towers and stone houses overlook a landscape of deep valleys and snow-capped peaks. Founded during the Lombard period, it was for centuries an important center of shepherding and rural traditions. Among its unique ties, one stands out. The paternal grandfather of singer Madonna was born here, and many of her relatives still live in the area. However, Pacentro's true charm is not fame, but its authenticity, a near-perfect balance between history, nature, and everyday life. Marzamemi, on Sicily's southeastern coast, grew around a 10th century Arab tuna fishery, when tuna fishing dictated the rhythm of life. Today, its low houses and sunlit squares preserve a maritime aesthetic, but with a nostalgic air that attracts artists and sensitive travelers. Every summer, the old net yard transforms into an open-air cinema during a festival celebrating the Mediterranean perspective. Here, colors are more vivid. The sea seems to whisper ancient stories, and everything unfolds with a slow cadence, like an unscripted film. Castiglione di Sicilia clings to the slopes of Mount Etna like a stone amphitheater overlooking the Alcantara Valley. Founded by the Greeks and shaped by Normans and Arabs, its history is a layering of cultures still visible in its churches, castles, and cobbled streets. But its soul lives in the wineries. Here, on terraces of black lava, centuries-old vines are cultivated that produce some of Italy's most unique wines. In this balance between fire and vineyard, the village holds a sober and volcanic character, as ancient as the ground that supports it. Savica. Suspended among the hills of eastern Sicily, Savica is a village that seems untouched by time. Founded in the Middle Ages on a Byzantine core, its stone alleys and views of the Ionian Sea provide an almost theatrical natural setting. International fame came when Francis Ford Coppola chose its Vitelli Bar and church to shoot key scenes of The Godfather, seeking an authenticity that Corleone no longer offered. But beyond cinema, Savoca holds monasteries carved into rock, silent catacombs, and an atmosphere blending history, the scent of lemon trees, and memory. Bosa, on Sardinia's western coast, is a mosaic of pastel-colored houses climbing the hill toward the Serravalle Castle, built by the Malaspina in the 12th century. At its feet flows the Temo River, the island's only navigable river, where fishing boats and ancient tanneries can still be seen. Life here revolves around Malvasia wine, sweet and golden, slowly fermented in open barrels using an ancestral method. Every corner of Bosa reveals a harmonious coexistence of nature, history, and flavor, a rare balance few travelers get to know. Baunay rises on a limestone balcony overlooking the Gulf of Orosei on Sardinia's eastern coast. A village of shepherds and hikers, it preserves its Sardinian identity intact, with steep and quiet streets where ancient dialects still echo. From here, trails lead to some of the most inaccessible coves in the Mediterranean, such as Goloritse and Mariolu, hidden gems among cliffs. In its mountainous territory, the Quiles, stone shepherds' shelters, tell of a hard and austere life shaped by the land. Baunay is not just a point on the map, it's a frontier between the wild and the sacred. Now that you've discovered these hidden treasures of Italy, get ready to delve into Sicily, an island full of even more surprising and lesser-known gems. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, then click and let yourself be amazed by the secret wonders of Sicily. We'll take you through hidden corners where history, nature, and culture intertwine in unique ways. Don't miss this exclusive exploration that will awaken your curiosity and your desire to travel beyond the usual destinations.